New at 6, a Portland student mistakenly detained by police, and now a fight for transparency. For weeks, the I-team has been working to get body camera footage of that incident, but police are citing little-known laws to block the release. Tonight, Dan Lamparello explains why transparency advocates say the public has a right to see what happened.
He just said, they had so many guns.
When Amber Miller spoke with us in May about the mistaken detainment of her 16-year-old son, she wanted to see more transparency about how it all happened.
The officers didn't do their homework before apprehending him. It's my understanding that they were aware that the suspect had a large, very distinct tattoo down his arm. My son had a t-shirt on with no tattoo. He was simply waiting to get in the car to go to McDonald's.
It unfolded here on Orkney Street while Miller's son was on lunch break from nearby Deering High School. With the help of Portland police, South Portland officers were in the area searching for 19-year-old Miles Hibbert on burglary charges. Investigators say they wrongly identified Miller's son as the suspect.
There was a lot of justification from the police trying to explain why they did what they did.
Hoping to understand how the mistake happened, the I-team filed a public records request for body camera footage from the South Portland and Portland officers on scene. A week later, both agencies denied that request. Both claim releasing the footage would interfere with criminal law enforcement proceedings and a juvenile intelligence investigation, even though the 16-year-old was released and never charged.
And without knowing more, some of these exemptions don't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
Justin Silverman is the executive director of the New England First Amendment Coalition, which advocates for government transparency.
Even if some of these exemptions that they are citing do apply in some degree, law enforcement has the ability to redact that footage in a way to protect those interests while still maintaining some level of transparency.
That's exactly what the I-team requested, asking both Portland and South Portland police to make any necessary redactions, which law enforcement agencies across Maine regularly do when providing this type of video. But we were denied again. Both departments claim redacting sensitive information would create a new record, which they're not required to do under the law.
Does that go against the intent of what this law is meant to do?
It does. This is a fairly new argument that I've heard that's being made to withhold certain records. Oftentimes, this type of footage will be released very quickly to show that police, in a certain instance, operated as they should have.
In May, South Portland's police chief said in a statement that he believed his officers acted reasonably and appropriately given the circumstances and information they had at the time. Silverman says the public should be able to see that for themselves.
There are a number of questions that are being asked about what occurred in this particular police operation that aren't being answered. And without those answered, we as members of the public are just left to speculate. And that's not a situation that I think is in anyone's interest.
We're working with our attorney to determine if a formal appeal can be filed, and have also looped in the state's public access ombudsman in hopes of finding a path forward that balances privacy and transparency. In the meantime, we've also requested a copy of the internal review South Portland police say they conducted after that mistaken detention. That request is still pending. For the I-team, I'm Dan Lamparello.
We're also following new information.